Mm-mm-mm.
Hey, mamas. Good evening. I hope you had a great day today. I hope your day was not as exhausting as mine was. And you are ready for Soul Food Summer Camp. Soul Food Summer Camp is coming up in what? We got 1 week, less than a week. I think it's
Mhm.
less than a week. I think it starts on Wednesday, August
Mhm.
2nd. So if you are registered
Mhm.
for Soul Food Summer Camp, let me try to get this camera together. I am really excited to introduce you to our guest for the evening. We have Chef Nissa'a Stallworth, who is going to be our hostess with the mostest slash cook slash diva slash all around great woman for the evening from August 2nd to the 4th for Soul Food Summer Camp. So, Chef Nisa, can you just tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, why you do it, all that
Yeah.
stuff?
All right. So yes, my name is Nisa Stallworth. I've been a chef for 14 years. I've been around the city. I do a little bit of everything. For the most part, I work at Power, which is a rehab halfway house, and I cook lunch and dinner there. And I also teach culinary class at work, and actually, I teach culinary class throughout the city. During the pandemic, actually, was a major shift for me, and I taught a lot of virtual cooking classes, and also I'm a Zumba instructor as well. So that's what I'm currently using my creative juices for. But I have many things.
So,
Yeah.
I would love to find out from you,
Mhm.
Chef Nisa, just what inspired you to do what you do. And that is really interesting. One of the things that I found out when I looked up your bio or just tried to look you up is that you are all around creative. Like,
Mhm.
this is just one of the modes
Mhm.
and ways that you use your creative energy. So can you tell us a little bit about how you're funneling your creative energy into cooking and why you decided to do that?
Mhm. Yeah, so back right when I just graduated, I always wanted to cook. I always wanted to like I always was a personality. So watching people on Food Network, everyone growing up was an OG, so like Emerald Lagasse, Paula Deen, what's her name? Ina Garden, like so many people that like was actually on the Food Network cooking. That always inspired me, just like being in the kitchen and doing my own thing. I was a latchkey kid, so I was always in the kitchen doing something. Sometimes I burn up some stuff, sometimes I wouldn't. So I had my independency kind of early in life. And so one of the things that I enjoyed doing was cooking. And I would like sell, like the Kool-Aid. I was a Kool-Aid cup selling them through the neighborhood. Like that was my sad little hustle. So I kind of used that and kind of branched off once I went to culinary school in 2009. And I went to Bidwell Training Center on the north side. And actually like just wanting to do that. And then once I did it, I was like, this is something I really want to do. Like this is very interesting, and learning how to cut something down, learning how to make something out of nothing. Like that's something we learned as a culture. So being able to like take, vegetables that we usually throw away and make it like a vegetable stock or something, like those are creative things to do. Like there's always something to make of your own in the kitchen. And then I also inspired me. Like I raised a lot of. I'm an auntie. I'm like the official auntie of everybody's kids. So I was always watching somebody's kids. So in order to do that, you got to be able to cook. You got to be able to clean. You got to be able to do, watch the kids. So that is something that I already kind of had naturally. And so being able to do that and cooking with the kids in the kitchen and seeing them like eyes wide open, like, oh, I was able to do this or I was able to do that. And yeah, kids are definitely able to be taught like in a way that if you teach the kids, um, something new and you let them do something new, they're able to basically eat that something new. So always have your kids in the kitchen with you and introduce them to something new, let them cook with you. And I guess I'm kind of like stepping over, but yeah, so all around is like I just love cooking. I love being a creative, and being in the kitchen is one of my favorite things to do for sure.
So we have two questions. Well, we have one comment. Just to let you
Okay.
know, you have some volunteers in the comments. The Brown Mamas community love to volunteer. So one
Okay.
one user said, and I can't see your name, sis, so you might want to just post your name so I can know who I'm talking to. But she
Mhm.
said she would love to volunteer to help you sometime to teach culinary education and skills to children. And then Sequoia,
Yeah.
who is registered for Soul Food Summer Camp, is asking
Mhm.
about the banana bread. She wants to know if you are allergic to banana bread, what can you substitute it with?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if you're allergic to banana bread, I mean, you can use the yam. Yam is like kind of a good substitute. You can use black beans. And black beans actually is a good substitute for egg, period. So you can use black beans. You can use avocado. If you use avocado though, you might want to do like a chocolate one because avocados seem to like, obviously they brown up. So doing something like a double chocolate like avocado bread would be a beautiful substitute. Black beans is also, and also chickpeas. You can use chickpeas as well. So anything that's kind of like an egg substitute would definitely be a great substitute.
Gotcha. And we'll see if we can find that and post it in the group, y'all. We'll see if we can
Mm-hmm.
find that recipe substitute and post it for you so you'll have it, Sequoia. And that
Mm-hmm.
was Brandy Allen who said that she would love to volunteer. But
Okay.
I don't know if you're in the group, I'll make sure you're in there, Nisa, and then you'll be
Okay.
able to see who said that in case you need some volunteers. But diving
Mm-hmm.
into a little bit more about your culinary journey, because our moms are always interested in just finding out more information about different careers and how they can advance themselves in their careers. If there's a woman in the group right now, a mom who really wants to be a chef, what kind of advice would you give her?
Okay, so there's a few things. One thing I would give her is make sure this is something that you really, really, really want to do as a branch of creativity. One thing I will say about being in culinary, sometimes you're unfortunately underappreciated, but overused. So make sure that's some passion that you have a vision. And that's kind of in anything in entrepreneurship. Have a vision. What do you want to do? What is your path? What is your branch? Because there's a million and one chefs around the city, around the world, but they all have a different calling. They all have a different vision. So I would say make sure this is what you want to do. Make sure you're going to love what you do, and make sure you have a clear vision of exactly what you want to do. Yeah, and also and just have fun. Like it's going to be hard. Some days are going to be long as heck. Sometimes you're going to just want to give up. But at the end of the day, have fun. Like, have fun. Make sure you have an outlet where you're able to just be creative. And don't put a box. For a long time, I put a box on myself. Like, I could only be a soul food caterer chef. I can only, be this or be that. But in reality, I can do whatever I want. Like, I can literally, the sky is not even the limit. Like, past the sky, like, you can do whatever you want. When it comes to culinary, you can, be a therapist and be in culinary. Like, you can literally, that can be many things. So don't put a box on yourself. Make sure your vision is plain and what you want to do, and just have fun with it for sure.
Absolutely. And
Hmm.
somebody just said, my daughter is going to Johnson and Wells this fall. So this is a topic you guys want to hear more about. I'm going to make sure that I put a pin in that because clearly our
Hmm.
moms want to know more about the culinary field. And Cheyenne just texted me and said, hey, she said, tell Lisa I say hey. I said, all right.
Yeah.
Um, zucchini. Sequoia said, is zucchini okay to substitute in the banana bread?
Yep. Zucchini. Yep. Because a lot of people like zucchini bread. I would
Cool.
say zucchini, and then if you do zucchini, um, make sure you're yeah, zucchini should be good because zucchini actually adds a moisture. So make sure you don't dry out your zucchini too much. Just keep that moisture in, and that way it'll incorporate really good with the eggs. Yeah, so zucchini is a good one. Hmm.
Cool. So next question, Chef Nisa, what is your favorite thing to cook? Number one, and number
Hmm.
two, why? What do you think is the importance? Well, this is what I'll ask because I feel like this is the important. What is the importance and value of food in terms of making community connections? But
Mm.
first, what is your favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing to cook would be soups. Soups. I just recently I have found out that soups is my niche. Like I got for a long time I was like I cook everything. Like when I was in culinary school, I hated baking. Baking was like my teacher was like real strict. I love her now. Like I appreciate her now. Now that going through it, but baking was like, oh, I hated baking. I hated doing this. I hated cutting full pigs up. And then I realized like I really love doing soups. Like I love taking things out the refrigerator, chopping it up, and making a beautiful colored soup. And Sauces is also my thing. And soups and sauces kind of go with each other. You start from the bottom and you build it up, and all of a sudden you have this beautiful soup. And I think a lot of times I like things because it's literally, you can find scraps of stuff in the refrigerator, like onions, peppers. Like, you literally find those things and just throw it in a soup, season it how you want it. Have what you piece of little bread, because I love me some carbs, and there you go. Like, yeah, soups and sauces are my thing. hmm And then, what did you say?
I said,
Um,
what do you feel like is the value of food in creating cultural and community connections?
oh yeah, so this is something that we're learning now, with the inflation, and the gas is high, the food is high, and this is high, everything's high. COVID hit, and people were literally like, I don't know what to do. Like, I want to buy food, and then I don't know how to make this. And people were growing gardens, and people were doing all these type of things, making different things. And so the importance, I think, is to, at the end of the day, you have to learn. It's a life skill you have to learn, and you need to learn in order to survive. I mean, knowing how to cook something from scratch, or knowing how to cook something that's in your refrigerator and that's cheap at the store, and make it out of nothing, I think is very important, especially for community, because back in the day, we used to be able to go to our auntie's house or our neighbor's house and go get some bread, and go down here and get some eggs, and be able to make that stretch for the rest of the week, because we knew how to make bread pudding. We knew how to make some toast, make some croutons. You can make 8 million things with some bread and some eggs. So the importance is community, is to be able to help each other and share that type of wealth of knowledge in order to, give each other, like, that type of community. You know, I personally, I have a couple neighbors that I enjoy. They have a garden, and we're always sharing herbs with each other and stuff like that. So the importance of getting to know your neighbors, getting to know who you are beside, because you never know what's gonna happen in this world. I mean, it's just so wild though. I think that learning how to cook from scratch, learning how to what vegetables here can go with this herb, or what's a root vegetable, what's a fresh vegetable, canned vegetables, things like that. It's important for your health too. So
I think a lot of Black folks take for granted the fact that we have always had a tradition of helping each other in our communities,
mm,
because we haven't really had, quite honestly, a lot of times you just don't have a choice. So whether it's borrowing something from a neighbor, or sharing things amongst your family members, or however you do
yeah.
that, I feel like it's just something that's inherent in Black communities, because you really need each other. So,
hmm
when times get tough, you have to be able to share everything from food to babysitters, barter systems. Absolutely is our way of life.
yeah.
So thank you for sharing that, Chef Nisa. And I think it's just really important that we always call attention to, yes, food is important for our survival, but it's also a way in which we commune with one another. And it's a way that
Mhm.
we show our value to one another, show each other that we value each other, and show each other that there is value in more than material, tangible things. The exchange in and of itself is valuable.
Mhm.
So just that exchange of energy, if you're giving, a cup of brown sugar, we always make fun of that statement, but
Mhm.
that is an exchange of energy between Black folks. And it's really important that we acknowledge that as a way in which we show each other love, and also a way in which we identify ourselves as a people. um, Chef Nisa, I know that you do a lot of cooking in the community with kids and with family members. What are some of the tips you can give our parents in terms of, making sure that the culture and tradition of food and connection stays in their families?
Yeah, so there's a few things with that. I think it's very important, for us to have that communication with our kids as far as food. A lot of times, we're busy, we're working, and we just want to get the food in and out, go sit down, eat this food, and keep it moving. But I think it's important to, especially introducing your kid to something new, to a new vegetable, to a new meal period, to a new style of meal, to really be cultural, not only because I believe Black people just made everything. So, to be able to have a wide range of culture, I mean, there's a little bit of everything around this world. So let's not stick with just one type of meal. And that's what's really great about about these recipes that we have. Like they're really a little bit of everything in these recipes, like having different nuts and stuff in the banana bread and coconut milk and things like that. Like I personally, didn't grow up drinking coconut milk and different types of things. So it's important to have your kid in the kitchen, like put them on a step stool. Like I have my niece put them on a step stool. She has her little kid knife and she chops up her little potato and she's proud of that. And it kind of gives a sense of pride. It gives a sense of communication. It gives a sense of belonging. Like I did that. I made that. So I'm going to be good enough to be like, I'm going to go and I'm going to eat this because I made this. Beautiful colors in the food. Make sure you're bringing colors to your dishes. But yeah, what I will definitely say is I think because I'm always like adamant about the kids because the kids are our future, number one. And so in order for us to keep going and keep striving and keep the legacy in our families, we have to make sure our kids feel like they belong, make sure they feel like they're worth it, they're worthy, make sure they feel like, or we have communication like, well, I don't like this. Okay, well, let's try it a different way, if you don't like this. Or some kids don't even eat meat, nowadays they want to just eat vegetables and what kind of vegetables can we introduce to them? And just kind of like reserving some traditions, but also being open to creating new ones in your family. Mm-hmm.
Agree 100%. And I think it's also important, something that I've been thinking about a lot because I don't have little kids anymore, is
Mm-hmm.
food and traditions are what can makes kids come back home. So when
Yeah.
your kids
Yeah.
are older and they've gone from your house, food will bring them back home. So just thinking
Mm-hmm.
about that as like, okay, if I want my kids, when my kids get older and they have a choice not to be there, what reasons am I going to give them to come home? Is there a
Mm-hmm.
dish that I make that's better than, that's the best of that dish that they ever tasted? So they'll come back
Mm-hmm.
home because they want to have that dish. Or is there a specific tradition that we do that they don't ever want to miss? So just thinking about those things and how we can really build around food as a way to ensure that, like Chef Nisa said, our kids are our future. So just remembering what that actually looks like to say our kids are our future. We want our
Mm-hmm.
kids to be a part of our lives, not just what they're creating in the world, but we want our kids to be a
Mm-hmm.
part of our lives in the future. So we have to make sure that we're outside of just the regular love and attention and dedication and
Mm-hmm.
commitment we give our kids, making sure that we're giving them reasons to come back home and see us
Yeah.
and be with us and commune with us even once they leave the nest. So Chef Nisa, what can we expect on for Soul Food Summer Camp? What are you excited about, and what can we get the moms and the kids excited about?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about just like going when I was like kind of editing the videos a little bit. I'm excited about like just a couple of things that I like, my quirkiness, my personality. I'm excited for you guys to just see how I do videos. I'm excited about all of the wider range of things we did, whether it be the plantain chips, stuff that I've never tried. I'm not really a big fan of plantains, so like being able to make them and then having the little spice that I put on them. We had a jerk rub, so that I took some of that jerk rub and I used it on the plantain chips. So like being able to like pair some of those things together was really, really nice. And there's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of sauteing, it's a little bit of frying, it's a little bit of baking. Knife skills. You get to learn a little bit of knife skills. I kind of give some tips on how to hold a knife and how to smash things down. Like, so it kind of feeds a little bit of everything: your sight, your taste, your smell, and just give us. I just love equipping people, whether it be children or some people don't know how to cook, as naturally. So being able to just equip people with some simple techniques, I'm very excited to see everyone learn.
Absolutely. And we are excited to commune with you, Chef Nisa. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Just want to
Yes.
remind you all, well, before we have Chef Nisa say goodbye, I want to remind you all that this
Mhm.
weekend we're doing the History of Black Pittsburgh tour with Reconstruction at
Yes.
the Hill District Arts Festival. So come through, make sure that you get registered. You can go to brownmamas.com/Reconstruction Pittsburgh. I'll put the link in the comments. But come through, learn about the Hill District, learn about the history, the Black history of the Hill District. Come
Mhm.
get a free T-shirt. Come get I can't remember what all the stuff we're gonna have. We're gonna have some goodies for y'all. So make sure you come get some goodies. And if
Mhm.
you are registered for Soul Food Summer Camp, we are excited to be in the house with Chef Nisa. Any parting words, sis, before we get back to our regularly scheduled programming?
I just want to say, like, just make sure you are open to new things. Listen to your children, and spend that quality time with your kids, and just have fun. And just have fun in the kitchen. I mean, it's all about learning new things and having fun. So, thank you for letting me come on and speaking my words and listening. And I just want to say that I hope you guys have fun. It's gonna be a good time.
We will. Thank you so much, Chef Nisa, and thank you
Thank
so much for making your
you.
incredible talent and skill
Thank you.
available to us in the Brown Mamas community and beyond. We appreciate you.
Mhm.
All right,
Yep.
sisters,
Thank
I will
you.
see y'all next week and peace.
Peace.